Hey, Paul, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent, Elisha. Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. And
Wonderful.
and thank you so very much for being here. And you see,
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure. It's
yeah,
an honor and a
beautiful.
pleasure to be on your podcast. So thank you for inviting me, Elisha.
Awesome,
I'm delighted to
awesome.
be here.
And you see, oftentimes, Paul, I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often because I feel like it's important. So firstly, Paul, I want to say thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes I
Absolutely.
love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, Paul, some months
Hmm.
back I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word
Okay.
unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it. And
Hmm.
it looks so dry and all. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Paul, just recently I was on that same road. And this time
Okay.
around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree
Okay.
caught my attention pretty good from a distance. Immediately, I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because
Okay.
now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, but ripe mangoes. It was a beautiful moment that day.
Okay.
I was so excited, a
Okay.
very special one at that. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Paul that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the
Okay.
request
Thank you.
from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your work, your philosophies, your insight, and the impact your solution is having. It's amazing. So thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much
Thank you.
for investing in yourself, and thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisha. If may I respond? Thank you, Elisha. Thank you. Again, it's an honor and a pleasure to be on your podcast, your program today. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for extending the
Beautiful.
hand. I would also say that if you are not invited, well, maybe I would have certainly reached out to you, but at least you invited. So I thank you for that. It's
Beautiful.
an honor and a pleasure to be here.
That's
If my story, what we're going to discuss today, if it's able to impact one person, I think that would have done our job. So thank you
that's
again.
right. That's right. I love that. So I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, Paul, for some reasons.
Mhm.
Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now,
Yes.
but the application of it. And you see, Paul, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seek it because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our
That's right.
conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have
Yes.
the amazing Paul on the show today is for the sake of the listeners, the audience. You see, Paul, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, high-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason,
That's,
Paul, my
that's good.
man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Paul got here. And afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Paul, over to
Okay.
you.
All right. All right. Thank you again. Thank you, Elisha. Thank you for the opportunity to get on program, your podcast, and share some ideas. Tell my story, and then see how we can exchange some information. Yes, I think that before I talk a little bit about my story, I think that light, having light, casts away darkness. I believe that knowledge is important. I believe that information is really important. But as one of the mentors I listen to, Jim Quick says, he says knowledge is power. But guess what? The application of knowledge is your superpower. So knowledge is power, but the application of that knowledge is superpower. So again, you inviting me on here to share some ideas that we're going to hopefully implement is the superpower that we're all seeking. So we're on the same journey. We're on the same journey. Um, I came to the United States some years ago to pursue my college education, and essentially stayed here after my college, legally speaking. Okay, legally. After my education, there was a thing when I came here. There was a thing about America for me that just made me feel like if I came to America, I would be able to achieve the goals that I really wanted in my life. One of them was freedom. Financial freedom was a big part of it. I just felt that being in America, I would have that opportunity to achieve that goal, which was really, really important to me. So coming all the way from Africa, from Cameroon, West Africa is where I came, from Cameroon, West Africa to here in the late 80s to begin my college studies, I had to adapt. It wasn't easy. It was a strange country, but I had to adapt. I had to learn the system, how to understand the lay of the land, right? How things work here. I went to college, finished graduate college with an honors degree in business finance. Working my way through college, my dad helped some. It was very helpful. But I had to, I had to chip in a little bit. So I was working as a security guard in between going to school. While going to school, let me just tell you what happened. While going to school, I encountered some challenges. Now, I'm a pretty smart guy. I think I am, and I know I am. But in the course of my college degree, there was something about algebra, math. Boy, it was not my thing. Okay, Elisha, it was just not my thing. I just did not want to invest the time to learn it. It was seeming as if I was not going to graduate because I needed to take math, algebra, and calculus, which I was not really happy about. But I had to take it. It was part of the requirement for me to graduate. My dad told me, said, Paul, listen, I'm coming to your graduation. So that was extra pressure on me now. I said, well, if I have to do this, then I have to find a way. So I had to work on it. I went to work, studied the course, algebra, studied the calculus, and I became the top student in my class. In fact, I was teaching other people. I tell you why that's important. It's important because it made me realize that there were certain abilities in me that lay dormant. I didn't know if you know that. When the pressure was on, I was able to summon those resources. I learned the math to the point where I was able to teach my other classmates. Okay, and I graduated. Like I said, I graduated with honors. My dad came. It was a wonderful event, and we had a great time. So that was the first major time when I was able to bring in this energy that I didn't even know I had. I didn't know I had it, but it came. After college, I was contemplating graduate school, but I saw friends who had graduated. They were still doing the same kind of jobs they were doing before they graduated. I was a security guard. This one friend of mine was working at the bank as a teller, but when he graduated, he was going to graduate school. He was still working as a teller. I said, wait a minute, I don't want to go to graduate school and still be doing the work of a security guard. I don't want that. So I said, no, that's not for me. I started dabbling into businesses. I was in Amway, selling soap and some other household type goods. We're doing that. I did not make much money with Amway. Amway, just so you know, is a network marketing company. I did not make much money. I did not make much money with Amway, but I learned something. I was introduced to personal development. I was introduced to books. I was introduced to inspirational information. I was told that I could make it happen. I was the architect of my life. I could change things for me. I had, it was in my power. Again, so they can remember this is something I did not know. I didn't even know. So I did not make much money with Amway, but I learned. I started reading. I got into books. That's where my love of reading began, and it has not stopped since. I realized that resources where I could better myself and change my situation lay in me studying, lay in me reading. I got into books. Started reading. My knowledge base was expanded, and then down the road, I got on some other side jobs that I worked. While I was trying to figure out what I really wanted to do, and a few years later, my wife came in from England. We got married, started a family, and we decided to go into business. Okay, we purchased a home care franchise, started growing it, and then to the point where we are today, where we employ over 300 people, and we've been in business for 23 years, and we do a lot of good for seniors, which is what I love. We make a difference in the life of seniors. That's what we do now. Now, a few years ago, remember we've been in business 23 years. A few years ago, after we've been in business for like 15 years, I started wondering, I guess, is this something more I want to do? Because I was feeling a little bit tired, a little bit. I felt there was something in me I had to bring out. And so that led me into personal development coaching, okay, where I learned how to help people grow their minds and go for their dreams, reach out and achieve whatever they want in life. Because a lot of us don't know. We may have dreams and goals. We don't know how to get started. We don't know how to go about it. Right? We need a guidance. That's why I got into mentorship and coaching. That's what my wife and I do. That's our biggest. I would say right now. That's my passion right now. Helping others see what I've seen, do even more than what I've done, and just guide them. Because I think that there's greatness in every one of us. But sometimes we may not even realize it. We may think a situation is desperate, but it takes somebody else to look at it and say, well, no, it's a challenge, but you can overcome that challenge. So that's where I am right
Beautiful, Paul. Your story, your journey, very, very inspiring, I tell you.
now. Thank
And
you.
one thing that
Thank you.
stood out
Thank you.
is at times, yeah, many of the things that we think we cannot do is as a result of we haven't gotten the necessary pressure to press us to do it. The algebra and math thing, that's amazing. That's a great story. And I love the fact that yourself and your wife, you're causing impact and helping. That's a great one. And thank you for sharing that with us too.
Yes.
I found
Thank
your
you.
story very
Thank you.
inspiring. Yeah,
Oh, thank
I'd
you.
have to listen to our conversation again and again. Okay, so we have just few questions to go. All right. You were talking about
Okay.
goals earlier. Why are goals important? Like setting goals. Why are they important?
Good job. Good question, by the way, Elisha. That's wonderful. If I let me just before we even go to goals, Elisha, let me talk about your philosophy. Okay, I think that's even much more important than goals. I believe that we have to have a philosophy in life. What do you believe in? Do you believe that you're part of the solution, or the problem just come to you? Do you believe in things happen? Do you have a positive mindset or a negative mindset? That's your philosophy. How do you look at life? Do you look at life as if you're a part of it? You can help determine the outcome of your life, or just think that, well, listen, I mean, this is my lot in life. What's your philosophy? I think the philosophy is most important. If we have a philosophy that makes us believe that we can excel, we just need guidance, right? I mean, we just that wherever we are is a temporary situation, it's a circumstance. We can get beyond that if we have that philosophy, go getter mentality. That actually that tells that lets us realize that we can make it happen. We may just need guidance. We're co-creator. That's what my wife and I often say. We're co-creator along with God. If that's my belief is God. We're co-creator with God to determine our future. If we have that philosophy, we can go places. So I want to start with that philosophy. Goals are important. You got to know what you want. You got to know what you're going for. You got to know what you're about. If you don't, like one of our mentors years ago used to say, so you have to be meaningful, specific, otherwise you'll be a wandering generality. If you're not meaningful, specific, you don't know what you want, you're gonna be wandering, and we don't want wandering because the result may not be what what you like. It's important to set goals. Goals are important because they're a direction for your life, right? They give energy to what you're doing. It doesn't have to be a big goal, but you gotta it's important to know what you want out of life. I mean, I always encourage folks to take some time and figure out what do they want. What do they really want? What are they willing to put time, energy, and resources to get? Because if you know what you want, and if it's that important to you, you're going to find a way. Because like you said, there's a lot of support and a lot of help.
That's so true. That's so true. I got it. So, what is the connection between perspective and success? Got it?
Perspective, I think, is extremely important. Perspective is how you look at things. Perspective is how you look at things. I mean, you could look at a situation as one that is empowering or disempowering. I think perspective is key. It goes again to your philosophy again. How do you look at things? How do you interpret a challenge? Because challenges you can I mean it depends on how you view challenges. Also, something may be a challenge, but the way you look at it, you can interpret it and have it help you become an overcomer. So it's extremely important. No, I don't think anything is, except for maybe health challenges and things of that nature. We have to be very careful about looking at things, looking at things as a problem. In fact, I tend not to look at things as a problem. I look at everything as a challenge or as an inconvenience. Because once you look at something as an inconvenience, it means you can find a way around it. If it's a problem, what do most people do with the problems? They put their hands up, they surrender. So perspective has a big part to play towards success. Because as you look at things, the things you look at change. Dr. Wendell used to say that. The way you look at things determines how the outcome is going to be for you.
That's so true. I got that too. So, let's get personal a bit, Paul. How do you balance
Yes.
running a business and raising a family?
Oh, that's easy. I love them both. I love them both. It's a matter of love. It's a matter of love and passion. I love serving. I love doing what I do. I enjoy what I do. And I learned to manage my time in a way that I can serve both sides of my life, my business and my family, and thankfully the kids are grown, that which helps. But then again, we still have to be a presence in the home. So that's important. But again, it comes down to just loving what you do, which I enjoy, and just making time for what's important in your life. That's why I talked again about what do you want? What makes you joy? What makes you happy? Because if you're in a job that you love, it's not work anymore. You love it. It's a joy. It's a blessing to be there. And if you're home where you love, you make it that way. It's a blessing also to be there. So again, I make both the activities I'm engaged in, my family you asked about, and my work. My businesses, and not just one businesses at this point. It's because I love doing it. And when you're doing something that is a labor of love, it's not work. It's fun, and we enjoy it.
Fun. I got that. So, you mentioned businesses. I believe
Hmm.
challenges and trials are really inevitable. So, how have you been able to
Yes.
overcome those tough times running your businesses?
Good question again, Elisha. Good, very good question. Again, in life is about life. In life, we're going to go through challenges, aren't we? We're going to go through challenges. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when, right? I mean, these things are going to happen. You know, Someone said, when you get out of bed, getting out of bed is a challenge sometimes too, isn't it? You know, trying to cross the street is a challenge because anything could happen, right? I mean, it's a matter of perspective again. It's a matter of philosophy. It's about what you want. What do you want? What do you want to do in life? All those things play into how you approach challenges. Again, remember, I don't call them problems. No, I don't call them problems. I call them challenges. Challenge means that it's something that I can overcome. And as long as something I can overcome, I'll find a way around it. For what I do, it involves working with the right people, having the right mindset, having the right team around you, right? Because as you grow in business, you need the right people. You can't do everything. Right? I can't do everything in my company now. I just cannot. We have teams of folks that come in that can support, and then that enables me to do some other things.
Awesome, I got that.
Oh my
Your
God.
environment plays a very crucial role in that too. I got
Oh
it.
yeah.
So to bring
Oh
this
yeah.
to an end, Paul, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And those folks who would
Oh,
like to reach out to you, or they felt like, Paul just inspired me. I'd love to learn more about all that Paul is doing. How can that be possible?
yes. Thank you, Elisha. Again, thank you for this opportunity to be here with your audience. I want to just leave people with the impression that they have greatness in themselves. They have greatness in themselves. Everyone here has it. Everyone. It's a matter of bringing it out. You got to believe. You got to believe. What do you want? What do you really want? Right? Spend some time and find out what do you want. All of us go through challenges. I go through challenges too. We all do. Right? We all do. But we can overcome it. With the right guidance and studies, we can all get there. I'd encourage everyone to be able to read. Get into reading. Reading is a big thing. I read 2 books a month. Now, I want to be reading one book every week. Okay. Reading is important. I'll just share my wife. This is my wife's book. You can get it on Amazon. Next time, Elisha, I'm going to try to have her be on your show. That's
All
my wife's book.
right, can't wait.
The Money Locates
Beautiful,
You.
beautiful.
It's an international bestseller. So this is going
Mm,
to help you. Books are important. I mean, that's where the treasure is. We have to get into the habit of getting around the right people, knowing what we want, get around the right people, and be willing to pay a price. Everything is going to involve a price. I mean, I've gotten where I've gotten because I've paid a price. I chose to pay a price. You've gotten where you've gotten, Elijah. You chose to pay a price, right? There's a price for everything, but it's worth it. Anyone out here can do it. If they need help, guidance, we can certainly help them. We can guide them. That's what we do. Name of our company is premierdestiny.com. I think I'll put in the chat so you can put in your premierdestiny.com. We're on YouTube, on social media, you can reach out to us there, but we're premierdestiny.com. That's what we do. If anyone needs guidance, if we can help in any way, we'll be happy to. So Premier, PREMIERE, destiny.com. That's where we are. But again,
beautiful.
get into the habit of reading, folks. It's extremely important. I cannot overemphasize it because books is where people. That's where people tell you how to do it. Anything. That's what people tell you.
Exactly.
Just develop a love of learning. Like one of the philosophers said one time, he says that the world of today belongs to people who can learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay? Learn, unlearn, and relearn. Things are changing, folks. If you don't learn, you're behind. Knowledge is important, but it's the application. But we have to expose ourselves to that knowledge so we'll get better.
Beautiful. I've got to clap for you, Paul. That was a great one.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's going to be the end of
Good
the
job,
show.
Elisha. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot, my man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Elisha. Thanks. A pleasure. Thank you again. Bye-bye for now. God
That
bless.
was a beautiful